This is WPSL Port St. Lucie.
You're listening to WSTU Stewart.
Very pleasant good evening. It is 6:07 at WPSL 1590, the Talk to the Treasure Coast. 5:07 if you're listening in the Central Time Zone, or 3:07 if you're listening in California. And if you're in Azerbaijan, forget about it.
We have listeners. We're all the way in California now, Greg. I'm impressed.
We do. Actually, we've got some listeners there, and Coach has his family and friends and stuff in Missouri listening. So,
That's good. Okay, I like that.
Sure.
Well, the Kindreds are all from Missouri, so I may have some relatives.
Oh,
listening,
yeah.
so.
Hey, you need to talk to Charlie.
Right.
He's got a million of them there. Yeah.
So welcome to another segment and installment of Startup Talk, the show designed to assist and help Treasure and Research Coast, and I guess according to Greg now, he could West Coast residents who want to start, grow, or accelerate their business. And as I always say, what a great place it is to own and operate a business along the beautiful Research and Treasure Coast. We will spend time during our hour together tonight to highlight and create awareness regarding the very powerful and robust business assistance and support programs which exist right here in our community at our very own Indian River State College. I am Tom Kindred, and I serve the community as the Regional Director for the Small Business Development Center here at Indian River State College. And our friends at Express Printing of Port St. Lucie and the SBDC all power our show this evening as always. So, Greg, again, good evening to you. How are things in the radio world with you?
Doing well. Doing very well.
All right. I know we have basketball coming up this weekend.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Home game?
It is a home game.
Okay.
Miami-Dade's coming to town.
Ooh.
We need them to come to town because we've had a couple speed bumps this week on the road. Yeah. But we're 5-2.
Is that in conference play, 5-2?
Still resting on top, sort of,
Okay.
with Eastern Florida. They are 5-2, but of course they've
Wow,
also
who beat
got
Eastern
20.
Florida? I mean, you tell me Eastern Florida is the
did.
power. Oh, we did.
We
Oh,
did.
that's right. We had the big win
That's
against
right.
Eastern Florida.
Yeah, and then I don't know how, but I think Miami-Dade beat them. And I'm going, what?
Wow.
But yeah, it was when Miami-Dade had their track shoes on and won that big. But,
So we got a game Saturday against Miami-Dade.
Yes.
What time is the game Saturday?
The game Saturday is at 4 o'clock.
Okay. All
And
right,
then
nice.
next Wednesday will be our showdown. It will be on television throughout Melbourne and Central Florida on Bright House Cable.
That's our showdown with Eastern.
That's a showdown at Eastern Florida.
Eastern Florida.
They always put our game on television. They love to beat us by 20 or 30 and. On TV,
And of course, that's probably on, like you said, you can only see that up in the Broward or Brevard, Central Florida.
Actually, they are going to stream it on the web this year. So I think it's WEWS, I think, is the Eastern Florida. Boy, watch. It's probably not it, but it's anywhere. It's close to that. Just look for Eastern Florida Television, and they'll have a stream.
Nice.
They'll have a stream on their website. Yeah.
And as I always tell folks, I mean, it really is. You need to make the effort to get out. This is real collegiate sports here in our very own hometown. The basketball team has performed very well this year, and I've been going for the last 3 or 4 years. Been very good about attending some games, and I really have been impressed with the team this year. Great shooting this year from the team.
Wait till next year. Palm Beach State, and I was introduced to the young man from the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky. He is 7-1 and growing, and he's going to Palm Beach State. And then they also signed a young man from Valparaiso, Indiana, Valpo. And so all of a sudden, they're going to have 2 guys on the front line next year that are Division I college players.
Wow.
Yeah. So we'll have
again, I tell folks all the time, come out. Basketball's great, and it's free. There's no charge. I encourage people to come out, enjoy the games, bring the family. It really is a great opportunity to see some high-level collegiate sports right here in our own hometown. Easy to get to. Gym's right there in the middle of the main campus, about 100 yards from the parking lot. So it's easy to get to, easy to enjoy. So a game this Saturday on main campus right there on Virginia Avenue at 4 o'clock here at Indian River State College. Come watch the Pioneers take on Miami-Dade. Greg, tonight we have with us a new professor at Indian River State College. I am happy to have with us tonight Professor Crystal Carlson-Myer of the Indian River State College School of Business. Professor Myer teaches in the accounting department. She is a CPA. Welcome to the show, Professor Myer.
Thank you.
Now, Professor Myer, as part of her responsibilities and duties as a accounting professor extraordinaire at the college, she is also responsible for a very unique program called Vita, the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. We've had the Vita folks on last year. Really an incredible program offered to the community. And again, as you know, Greg, many times we've had the School of Business folks on the show, and we've discussed about how the Irsc School of Business, gives back to the community through a number of events, but all the time offering Irsc business students and accounting students the opportunity to gain some real-world hands-on experience, and this program is no different. So we've got Professor Myer this evening with us to talk about Vita.
And WPSL has done Vita public service announcements for, 23 years. So
Okay, well, great.
feel free. Come back and do some PSAs.
Been very
on
impressed
it.
with the
Yep.
program. For the last 2 or 3 years, Vita's been in the Brown Center, but I think they're going to move it back to the B building. But we'll let Professor Myer tell us where they're going to hold it this year. But I've had the opportunity when it was in the Brown Center to kind of watch the program in action. Very impressed with the program. Very impressed with how it really has helped a lot of folks in our community get their taxes done. So we're going to talk about Vita tonight. But as always, first I want to talk about a few upcoming business training opportunities. We've got some incredible social media classes coming up. I kind of want to real quickly go through these, but some new titles. Creative marketing for the not so creative business professional. Greg, I signed you up for
Yes. That's me. Oh.
Modern day business professionals are tasked with not only running a business, but in most cases designing the marketing messages and creating the collateral material needed for each campaign. First impressions really do matter. So this is a great course for you. Creative marketing, going to be Tuesday evenings, January the 31st and February the 2nd. We've got 12 LinkedIn secrets revealed. What you need to know to attract people, generate leads, increase connections, and book more sales using a LinkedIn account. In this course, we'll deliver 12 of the most important topics, tools, and tactics you need to be wildly successful with your LinkedIn account. That's Tuesday evenings, February the 28th and March the 7th. Then we've got the Ultimate Blogging course, just for beginners. Blogging has changed.
So all you newspaper guys or former newspaper
That's
guys,
right.
listen to this.
That's right. Former newspaper people are also welcome. The Ultimate Blogging course, just for beginners. Blogging has changed for business. Many companies have stagnant websites with old or outdated information, which is truly detrimental when one realizes on search engines to discover their business. It's time to learn how to blog for the best business results. Participants will learn keywords, long tails, how to leverage your company as the industry expert, and provide relevant content designed to improve your online digital presence. That's Tuesday evenings, April the 4th and the 11th. And finally, we've got Marketing Cruise Control. How to organize and automate your marketing efforts so you can get back to business. Whether you're a small business owner or a marketing director or manager, planning out a detailed marketing campaign is harder than folks think. You need to know your audience, the message, and offer present, and then make it as automated as possible so you don't have to be present. That's Tuesday evenings, May the 2nd and 9th. So some incredible social media classes coming up through CCTI. Then we've got our SCORE and our SBDC courses coming up. We've got February the 1st, we've got a financial record keeping for small businesses. That will be held at the Moorgate Library down in Stewart on February the 1st, Wednesday evening, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Are you a small business owner looking to start a small business or need to know more about your financial record keeping and reporting? Sounds like a good class for you to be teaching, Crystal.
I know, that's what I was
right.
thinking.
We may get you another responsibility.
May just
here
want to
tonight.
pass her that piece of paper there, you know?
I think you're adding to my duties.
Oh, that's right. Okay. How to start a small business. That will take place down at the Hope Sound Public Library on February the 8th. That's Wednesday evening, 5 to 7:30 p.m. Have you been considering starting your own small business but unsure of where to start? This is your workshop. You'll be provided with information about startup fundamentals, marketing and business planning, financing, licensing, employee issues, business structures, taxation, and regulations. So again, how to start a small business, February the 8th, brought to you again by SCORE and SBDC. One of my favorite courses, sales training for small business owners. That'll take place down in the Stewart area on our Chastain campus, February the 9th, Thursday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. in the afternoon. That's going to be taught by our very good friend, Lonnie Koyama, who is with the SBA.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Really? Okay, that
Yep.
would be great.
Do you and your staff need to brush up on your sales skills? This class helps you learn to grow your revenue, increase your average sale, and most importantly, close the sale. We'll also learn how to help an irate customer and create a better experience for all your customers. So again, that is Lonnie from the SBA teaching that class on February the 9th down at the Chastain campus in Stewart. Again, those classes all brought to you by SCORE and SBDC. And as I tell folks all the time, there is never any charge to engage in one of those classes brought to you by SCORE and SBDC. Again, I tell folks all the time, back when I was in business, had I taken the time to become engaged in and participate in these business assistance programs that are available at Indian River State College, I am confident I could have been a better manager, owner, and operator. The college and its president, Dr. Massey, and the Board of Trustees have done an incredible job of building what I like to call a very powerful one-stop shop for business assistance and support through the Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurship Development Institute. The EDI, as we call it, is made up of that Small Business Development Center, the Business Incubation Program, and the Corporate and Community Training Institute. You can always get the latest information on all those business training activities and workshops at IRSCBiz. That's IRSCBiz.com. As always, a big thank you to the SBDC and their consultants for the work they perform in assisting our region's business community. And real quickly, I want to announce, a couple weeks ago, we had Pete Tesh and George Greenstein on the show. We talked about a very unique and new facility that we're bringing online. We're calling it the Enterprise Hub, and it is truly a one-stop shop for business assistance. It is housed down on our Pruitt campus, where we have taken a building and kind of converted and renovated the first floor of this building. And we have recruited and will house a number of residents in the building, all of whom provide business assistance. We've got the St. Lucie County EDC in the building. We've got the Small Business Development Center, SBDC in the building. We have SCORE in the building. We have the Corporate and Community Training Institute in the building, and we have Career Source Research Coast in the building.
And coming soon, WPSL TV.
Sure.
When Ed Massey finishes painting the walls.
That's right. He's going to give you an office down there, I think. Studio right there in the Enterprise Hub. So anyway, going to have a big open house on Tuesday, February the 7th at about 1 o'clock down at the Pruitt campus in Building F. Just look for the big crowd, but we encourage anyone to come out, and if they'd like to come take a quick tour of the building It'll be a quick open house following the regular St. Lucie County EDC meeting that'll take place that Tuesday at noon in the Schreiber Center on the Pruitt campus.
We need to keep the crowds under 10,000, please.
That's right. That's right. Only the first 10,000 will be allowed in. So anyway, just put that on your calendar if you're a business owner, operator, or an entrepreneur, and you kind of want to see what's going on, the latest and the greatest opportunities for training and assistance at Indian River State College. So anything else, Greg?
I think, boy, you covered it. I can't wait to go to that open house.
I know, gonna be fun that day.
Yep.
So with that, we're going to turn back to our guest this evening, Professor Myer. And Professor Myer is here to talk about a very unique program, Vita, the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. But before we get into Vita, welcome to the show again, Professor Myer.
Thank you.
Give us your background. How did you find your way to Indian River State College?
Well, I'm originally from Iowa. So
okay, so close.
Yeah,
right?
It's right next door, right? Yeah. I've been in Georgia for the last 10 years. So that's where I graduated from college. I graduated from Georgia Southern University. I got my master's of accountancy there. And then I went into practice for a while as a CPA. I worked for Elliott Davis, which is a regional CPA firm. They're now Elliott Davis DeCosmo, I believe.
Is this out of Atlanta?
This is out of Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then I started work at the University of South Carolina in Aiken, South Carolina, is where I worked at before I came here.
Were you teaching there?
I was teaching there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you said, I need some sunshine and beach, and you said, I'm going to IRSC.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Well, great. Well, we're glad to have you. I only hear great things about Professor Myer and her instruction in the School of Accounting here at Indian River State College. How long have you been teaching? Is this your...
This is my 4th year teaching, my first year at Indian River.
Okay, so
I
you
did
taught
3 years.
You taught in the fall.
Yes.
And so this will be your 2nd semester.
Yes.
Okay. And wildly popular, I hear. Your classes are filling up.
I hope so, yes.
Okay, well, good. All right, so of course, because you've only been here a short while, you're only now becoming involved in all the things that happen at the IRSC
Yes.
School of Business. We got DECA, we got capstones, we got internships. But one of the programs that the school is very committed to is Vita.
Yes.
And you, when you got here, you said, I'm getting involved in Vita. So what is Vita? Talk to us about the overview of Vita.
It's where low to moderate income taxpayers bring in their tax information. We prepare their tax returns for free. It's done all by volunteers. The IRS trains all of the volunteers, so they're all certified by the IRS. And basically, the community gets benefited by getting their tax returns prepared.
So now where does that training take place?
The training has taken place on IRSC, has sponsored it every year.
Okay.
So they did a live training at the beginning of January. And then we also have link and learn training that we do through the IRS website. So we had 1 day of a class for that to introduce the students to that.
All right. Now, talk to me a little bit about, there are certain qualifications for this program. It's not the entire community can take advantage of Vita.
Yes.
So what are some of the specific qualifications?
Tom and I are low income.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. I've been economically
That's what my dad
challenged.
said earlier today. He said, "Can I get my taxes prepared?"
Yeah.
I said, "No, you don't qualify."
I've been economically challenged for years, so I
That's
can,
what he tried to tell
right.
me too.
So what are some of the specific requirements to take advantage of the opportunity through Vita?
So basically, anyone who makes individuals or families under about $54,000 a year, you can't have a complicated Schedule C, so you can't have a complicated small business. We do prepare the Schedule CEs, which are the easy ones. So basically, no Schedule Cs for the most part.
Okay.
But any individual things you have, like dividends or anything like that you're getting, retirement, you can do that. Yeah. So just bring in all of the tax forms and we can prepare that for you.
All right. Now, Vita is a national program, right? This is not something just here in St. Lucie County.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about the national movement behind Vita.
Well, it actually started in California, I think in 1971, by some students from California State who they were accounting students and they wanted to get some experience and benefit the community at the same time. So they started it, and it's grown over the years exponentially, really.
Now I know you're new to IRSC and the School of Business, and but what is kind of the history? Did you kind of get a brief rundown on the history here at IRSC? And
Yes,
Vita?
I did a little bit. I believe it's been going on the last 2 years here at IRSC. And that Nathan Wadlinger started it when he was here. He had some previous experience with Vita, and so he started the program here. And it's grown. I mean, it grew last year from the previous year. So I'm hoping it grows again this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of growing, I mean, how many people does the program deal with on an average basis? How many?
It's about 150 tax
Wow.
returns. Yeah. And we're
Okay.
only open in the months of February and March, so 1 day a week. So it's pretty impressive.
And obviously, IRSC supports the program.
Yes.
By giving space and room, and so it is supported by the college. And again, you talked about the volunteers. So everyone really who's helping with taxes are volunteers.
Yes, and they're students and community members.
Okay, so good
Yeah.
point. So students, talk about the student involvement. I mean, it really is a great opportunity for the
Oh, yeah.
students to get some experience.
Yes, so I teach the tax classes on IRSC, and so I give them a waiver on one of their exams if they participate in
Nice,
Vita,
nice.
That's
because they
neat.
really
That
get
is
a
neat.
lot more experience than I could ever get from an exam. So they get a lot of experience, and they get a chance to actually prepare a return for someone, to interact with somebody and figure out what information they need to get besides me just saying you need, such and such on a tax return.
Well, if you're giving them that kind of incentive, I would
I
imagine
know.
you didn't have a problem this year.
I
probably.
haven't yet.
Yeah, no, probably the whole class probably said no.
Yes.
So talk about the education behind the taxes. In our, and I guess I always kind of start with this question, but in the degree program at the IRSC School of Business and in the accounting department, what do we offer in terms of accounting degrees at IRSC?
We offer an Associates of Science in Accounting, which is mainly somebody who wants to immediately go out and start working after their associate's degree. We also offer an Associates of Arts in Accounting, which is designed to transfer to our Bachelors of Science in Accounting.
All
And
right.
so that Associates of Arts gives you mainly your general education requirements, and then they get into their accounting once they get up into the upper level classes.
And then IRSC also do we have BS degrees in accounting?
Yeah, we do.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
as of I think 2012 is when they implemented those.
So in a BS degree, in a Bachelor of Science degree in accounting, what kind of tax requirements are there in that BS degree?
You have to take 2 tax courses at the upper level. So you have to take federal taxation, which is individual taxation, and then you have to take a corporate taxation class, which is what they're in now.
So I mean, so Vita is just what a perfect
Yes, it's a perfect
segue
fit.
For,
Yeah.
I mean, for these because these kids are taking a federal tax class.
Yes, yeah, and it's a perfect fit for them. And like I said, it gives them experience they can't get in a classroom.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
great. Well,
Yeah.
now, how many students are involved in this?
Well, last year we had 28 students involved, and
Wow.
right now I have about 30, I would say, that have signed up so far, splitting shifts.
Now, you're
So-
talking 1 day a week, is that right?
Yes, 1 day a week, and they don't have to come every week. So we have certain shifts on certain days. Yeah, it's Thursdays from 2 to 7.
Yeah, it's all Thursdays.
Yep.
Between February the 2nd and March the 30th.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The only Thursday you're going to miss is the one where we're on spring break,
Yes.
and we'll all be at the beach on that day.
Yes.
Except you're doing your show.
Yeah.
Oh, I
you
still have
don't
to
get
do
a
a
break.
show. I don't get a break.
No.
Okay,
There's no
all right.
break for you.
So again, all afternoon, 2 to 7 p.m. So I mean, you really do make it convenient for people with a job.
Yes, I
okay.
tried to span, a multiple time period that I had available too, because
Okay.
I do teach.
Okay. All right. So again, really quite impressive though that you're able to take the students out of class and put them in this real world experience, and that's what I've always been so impressed about the Indian River State College School of Business is that so many times we offer these students the opportunities to get the real world experience. I mean, again, how many times have we talked on this show, and we've got the money show coming up that Dr. Carlson takes his students to, and he's got the investment club going on where they, we talked about how they're actually dealing with some real funds in the
He's gonna
investment
have
club.
200 students at least this trip.
Well, I think the last time we talked to Dr. Carlson, he had the largest contingency of students at the Money Show last year.
Talking not just 2-year schools, but 4-year schools
Right.
as well. Yeah.
So you've got the investment club, we've got DECA, which offers students the opportunity to get the sales and the merchandising and the marketing and the advertising aspects of business. We've got capstone projects where companies come in and bring their real world issues into the classroom, and students get to work on capstones. And then we've got internships. Dr. Bailey is very aggressive with the internship program, and Dr. Massey talks often about internships and how we're able to get students out into the real world. So again, I just think Vita is just such an impressive program where you're taking now really focused accounting students who are getting that BS degree in accounting here, and they're getting real tax experience prior to graduation.
Yes.
And they're also getting a sense of community service too.
Yes. And it's a nationally recognized program, so when they go to apply for jobs and they have that on the resume, that helps them get a job too.
Okay. All right, so great. Love this. And with that, we're going to take a quick break. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Startup Talk.
WPSL Port St. Lucie.
You're listening to WSTU Stewart.
And we are back. This is Startup Talk. I am Tom Kindred, Regional Director for the Small Business Development Center here at Indian River State College. We are part of an incredible program called the Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurship Development Institute. We've got with us this evening new professor, just joined the ranks at Indian River State College, Professor Crystal Carlson-Myer. And she reigns from Iowa by way of Georgia to Indian River State College.
She's a Hawkeye.
She's a Hawkeye?
My husband's a Hawkeye, too.
Oh,
Yes.
where'd you grow up in Iowa?
I grew up in Sioux City.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so the northwest side.
Now, my favorite thing about the Hawkeyes is I think the Gators have beat them twice over the years.
Yes.
So
Yeah, they beat them this year. I was there, 4th row for the bowl game.
Oh!
Yes, where
Nice,
the Gators
okay.
beat the
Yes,
Hawkeyes.
yes,
Yes.
we fared well against the Hawkeyes.
Yes.
Professor Meyer is here talking about an incredible program. We've been having great conversation here about the program called Vita, which is the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. And again, take us back real quickly. Talk to us. The purpose of Vita is to
Prepare tax returns for low to moderate income individuals.
And I guess my question is, without a Vita program out there, what would happen to some of these folks that really couldn't afford to go get a tax return done?
They might try to prepare their tax on their own. I don't, or they would end up going maybe to H&R Block and spending $200 for somebody to prepare their tax
Is that
return.
kind of what it is? That the average cost at some of those Jackson,
Yes,
Hewitt?
usually, yeah.
About $200.
Depends on what kind of forms you have, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Vita, the purpose of Vita is you're helping these folks prepare these taxes, and it's free of charge.
It's free of charge to them. They don't have to pay anything.
Okay. And again, we want to make sure that we do talk a little bit about specifically the requirements. We don't want your program flooded with people that don't qualify. There are some stipulations with the Vita program, and
Yes.
they are.
Individuals or families making under $54,000, basic returns, so basic 1040, some Schedule D, we can do itemized deductions, but anything that's complicated, no moving expenses, anything like that.
And talk to me a little bit about, what are some of the things that people should bring with them? Because I know a lot of times people come
Great
in.
question.
Yeah, a lot of times people come in and they get a little frustrated. Well, I didn't know I had to bring
Yes.
that. So what are some of the things they
Yes.
need to bring in?
So you definitely need to bring in a photo identification, has to have your picture on it, driver's license. You also need your social security card for you, anybody you're claiming, like your children, your spouse, any dependents that you have. Birth dates for everybody on your tax return. Hopefully you know your birth dates of your children, but I guess you never know.
You never know.
And a tax package, basically everything you're going to have from last year. So bring in your last year's tax returns. Also proof of medical insurance, because now the government requires you to have medical insurance. So you need to bring in proof of how much you had during the year.
Okay.
And any months that you missed, you need proof of every single month that you had. and
Ooh,
your
that's
health
interesting.
insurance will send you something in the
so
mail.
that's new as of last year, then, right?
I think it started
Or
in.
was it 2 years ago?
Yeah,
maybe?
it was 2 years ago, I
Okay.
believe, and
Yeah.
the fines are getting worse and worse every year.
Yeah, that's
so,
what I've heard.
Yes, so
Okay.
and W-2s, 1099s, any of those that you have, any of your tax forms, interest and dividend statements, anything like that, your bank number, so you can route your refund directly into your bank account, because waiting for a check is going to take a while for the IRS this year.
And when they come in to do all this work and you do that, are you preparing all this the same evening they come in, the same?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So it's kind of a one and done.
Yes.
They come in and you finish the work that day.
They come in and as long as they have all their documentation,
You can.
they sit down with our greeter and fill out a form for us, and then once somebody's available to prepare their tax return, we'll walk them next door and get them situated. And it gets reviewed before they leave, so it's not just one person looking at the tax return.
Okay. So it is being reviewed, and then
Yes.
are you inputting the information into the computer right there at
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. And we'll sit there right with them and walk through the tax questions
Wow.
with them. Yes.
So now, is that a paper file, or are you filing it electronically?
We can do both. So we mainly file electronically because we use the TaxSlayer software is what Vita's using this year. So we'll be able to file everything electronically and give you your return statement and everything, your prepared return when you leave.
And Tom, your dog is not a dependent. I just want you to know that.
Okay.
Okay. I just want to double check.
Now, talk about, we talked about the volunteers. We talked about the students volunteering, which is an incredible. I could talk all night about that. But are you in need of other volunteers? Are you always looking to
Yes,
kind of build the ranks?
Yeah, we could definitely use more volunteers, not just for preparing tax returns, but we could use extra greeters to assist people with filling out the paperwork or anything like that. Yeah.
All right. How does a volunteer, someone who wants to help, how do they get engaged with you?
They can give me a call. I'm on the Vero campus twice a week, so I'm not always in my office. My phone number is 727-462-7489.
Okay.
Email is a better way, though. And my email address is ccarlso1@irsc.edu.
Okay. Maybe we can flash that
Yeah.
up on the screen or something in case.
Unless somebody had a pen available. Yes.
Right now, but somebody could always simply call the
Yes.
main number at IRSC, ask for the Vita program. I would certainly believe that those answering the main phone number,
They
know
can
about
route
Vita.
it over to
Yeah.
me.
Okay,
Yes.
great. So if you want to be a volunteer, you want to get involved in the program, or if you're just seeking to come and have your taxes done. So let's talk real quickly. So again, we talked about the dates. It's every Thursday, beginning February the 2nd through March the 30th. There will be one small break in there. So the Thursday on March the 16th, college is closed for spring break. Hours are 2 to 7 p.m. And you're going to be in the B building this year, which is the
Yes.
business building.
We are.
Right, which is really center of campus.
Yes.
And if you just come to that parking lot, which is just west of the campus on 35th Street, across the street from Big Apple Pizza, if you'd park right in that parking lot and kind of walk into the center of campus, B building is right there.
And we should have signs up that will
Okay.
be directing people.
All right.
I got a question. The kids that actually prepare these taxes, are they looked at more favorably when they go out and look for a job at a CPA?
Oh, yes, definitely. Because, like I said, it's a nationally recognized program. So when they see that they've had that experience, it's just like getting an experience in any sort of tax firm out there. Because they're really, they're doing the same thing that anybody else does when they prepare tax returns.
Well, and of course, I really like your creativity and innovativeness, and you're saying they can
exempt one
exempt
exam
one
in
exam.
tax class.
I
Yes.
love it. So you've had no problem probably recruiting students.
No, and I make them certified to the advanced level, so I don't let them off easy. So they have
all
to
right.
advance,
Okay.
not just the basic certification.
Let's again. I know you're new with the program, but what about some of the results from 2016? I guess. How did the Vita program do last year?
Well, we had 154 individual tax returns filed, which is quite a bit for how many days a week we're open. Most of our people are over the age of 65, but some of them have been our own students and some of our own employees. We also prepare tax returns for them. And we had 28 student volunteers. So it's quite a few. I hope to get that number up this year, though.
Okay. And, one of the things that we always talk about, of course, a very popular subject today is the whole identity theft. So, talk a little bit about, because, should people be concerned when they bring all, you talked about all the information they've got to bring into the program. I mean, what is the situation with identity theft through all of this?
Yes, because as you know, most of your tax forms have your social security number, your address, wages, everything on them. So when the taxpayer comes, we input all of their information in, but they take all of their information with them. We do not keep any of that. We don't scan it in. We don't have it stored anywhere. And they fill out an intake form when they come in, and we shred that when they leave. So none of their information stays with us. And the students don't have access to go back into the computer to access those returns afterwards.
Okay.
What happens if the people lose their W-2?
They can request from their employer to get a copy of it. It'll say copy on it, but that's still okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You accept that?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. And you said Vita is a national program. So if somebody happened to hear the program but doesn't live here or something, they could seek a Vita program in another county.
Yes, yeah. They can just go to the IRS website, which is irs.gov, and put in Vita up in the search box, and you'll get a phone number you can call, or you can access it on the web and then pull up the Vita sites near you.
I got a question, though. What happens if, say, you're moving from California
Yeah.
and you have to pay state taxes there?
Yes, we don't prepare state tax
Ooh,
returns.
okay.
I know.
Well, yeah. 'cause
Maybe if Florida had one, we might, but yeah.
Because Florida
Doesn't, yes.
has a state
Interesting.
income
Yes.
tax. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is a good question. Yes, we don't do state tax returns.
Okay.
But you can still file federal with us and then prepare state individually.
And again, the IRS this is their program, is it not? I mean,
Yes.
they created the Vita
Yes.
program.
And they govern it, they run it, they set up the trainers, all the training is through them. The exams that the students have to certify with are all on the IRS website, so they have to create an account with them. So it's all IRS run.
So it's really is here's a case where I think the IRS is trying to do the right thing by
Yes.
those who and I guess, do you think the IRS created this program because maybe some of those, again, low income folks maybe just wouldn't file their taxes? Is that, you
Yeah,
think
that's entirely possible, yes.
Right.
And it helps them out because a lot of times they get refunds. And so if they don't file their tax returns,
they
they're
don't
not
get
getting
the
the money
refund.
that's owed to them. Yes.
And that's a very good point too, because again, the last, obviously the last number of years, we've seen some tax breaks for those people
Yes.
in those brackets. So you're right. I mean, if they don't file their taxes,
Yes.
they don't get to take advantage of the tax.
And I even tell
refund.
my students, they say, well, I don't make enough to really file a tax return. I say, file the tax return because most likely you're going to get a refund back. So
Right.
it's worth to take the time to file the tax return.
And tell me too, because I spent a number of years in private enterprise, and there were some people that I came across, employees sometimes that would tell me, come up in conversation, I haven't filed a tax return in 4 or 5 years. What happens to an individual when you don't file that tax return for multiple years?
Well, I mean, think about when you go to buy a home, they ask for your tax returns. So, I mean, you can't do
right.
anything like that if you don't have a tax
Right.
return. That's the first thing I think of. Also, if you owed any taxes during that year, the IRS, when you do end up filing, because maybe you do want to buy a house in the future, they'll assess fines and penalties, which are way worse than the tax you would have owed originally. So,
And if you do owe tax, won't the IRS work with you with payment
Yes.
programs even on taxes?
yes, they do have a payment program available if you do end up owing taxes. So, yes, it is always better just to pay your taxes.
Right, I agree. Yeah,
than try to avoid
well, like
it.
you say, the problem is when you go to get caught up, it's a whole lot worse than
It is.
right.
Because the fines and penalties will end up being worse than the original tax owed.
And talk about student loans. That's become a
Yes.
big issue, in the last decade. I mean, how does a student loan play into a young person's tax?
So they actually get a deduction for the student loan interest that they pay. It's up to $2,500 every year. So it actually takes off, it's called an above the line deduction. So it takes off quite a bit on their taxes due. So it can help them out. It is limited to certain incomes, so they can't make an exorbitant amount of money coming out. But
Well, a typical student graduating,
Yes.
let's say, nurse or school teacher. I mean, you're making maybe 30, maybe 40. So you're below the $54,000 limit. And say you
Yes.
owe, $40,000 in student loans. That's pretty advantageous
Oh,
for
yes.
a young person like that.
Yes, it helps them starting out right out of college. That's what it's designed for.
Okay.
They can also take a credit for their tuition when they're going through college. There's the American Opportunity Credit, which is good within the first 4 years of college, and then there's the Lifetime Learning Credit that they can take forever.
Now, if a parent is still claiming
Mm-hmm.
the student because they're in school, still claiming the student, then the student doesn't have to file their own personal tax.
No,
Is that right?
they can though. I mean, if they're getting their own wages, they should file their own
They should
tax.
file their own
yes.
tax, even though they're being claimed by the parent.
Yes, they just can't file a dependency exemption on their own tax return.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Makes all kinds of sense. And I guess, our show as always is dedicated to, entrepreneurship and small business and all the things that the college has created to help small business and entrepreneurs. And, we talk about one of the things we teach in entrepreneurship is there's two professionals that you have to engage when you're starting a business. And those two are really, attorneys and accountants.
Yes.
So again, talk a little bit about the role that an accountant plays for that entrepreneur and why is that important?
Oh, there's a long list of why that is
Okay,
important.
well, we don't have that
Yes.
much time, but
First is it keeps them out of jail.
Yes, it really does. And it keeps them solvent also.
Right, okay.
Yes. So really setting up your accounting system, because how do you know that you're doing well if you don't know how much money you're making and your expenses? So you have to know how much income you're bringing in and how much expenses you're shelling out. And are your expenses making you money? Are everything you owning, is that returning a profit for you? So an accountant can really get into that and help out with that, not just taxes, but also planning for your business.
and again, accounting's become a little easier in the last couple of years for small business because of the technology. I mean,
Yes, yeah.
QuickBooks as an example. I mean, how many business do you think just use a QuickBooks type
Yes.
of software?
Yes, a lot of businesses do. And I find that really beneficial, because then they don't have to pay an accountant over the course of the year if they're a small business, because that's a big expense for them. Then they can just bring in their QuickBooks file, when they get their taxes prepared, and the accountant can take the time to look over their QuickBooks file at that time when they prepare their taxes, and it saves them money.
Yeah, and again, QuickBooks, we're talking a very economical investment for a
Yes,
business.
It is, yes.
Couple $100 maybe,
Uh-huh.
maybe. Right. And QuickBooks has become so much a part of small business. I mean, we teach QuickBooks, do we not, at the college
We
level?
do. We have a QuickBooks 1, and they used to have a QuickBooks 2, but I think they're getting rid of that one. But they still teach an introductory QuickBooks. But it's really, QuickBooks is so user-friendly. If you get in there and just start playing around in it, you can normally figure it out pretty easily.
Yeah, Carol uses that, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, and like you said, that's the biggest, we see that, more often than not, we see when people sometimes come to the SBDC for consulting or mentoring or coaching and use our resources, so often they come in and they say, well, I've got my shoebox, and that's okay, because we'll help with that. I mean, we will absolutely, help them, pull out the shoebox and get things organized. But because of technology like QuickBooks, really does, kind of eliminate the shoebox.
It does, yes.
Problem.
Yes, and that's great for accountants, because we don't see the shoeboxes as often.
So you really, things
Yes.
really have changed in the industry.
Yes, because really they'll bring in a QuickBooks, just a thumb drive to us, and that's what we usually see. Yeah, it's very rare that you'll see the shoebox anymore.
Are we ever going to see a less complicated tax code?
Oh, don't ask me that question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have no idea. We're due for a tax overhaul. The last time they overhauled the tax code was in the 80s. So
Wow.
Really?
we're
That long
due.
ago?
It was before that it was in the 50s. So
Well,
it's
you're
about
not old enough to
Yes.
even know the 80s. What do you know about the 80s?
I was born in the 80s.
Yeah, you were born in the
Born
80s.
in the
Yeah.
80s.
yeah.
I was born 81, so I had most
Yeah.
of the 80s.
Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable. Now you have a master's, you say, in accounting.
Yes.
Is that required now to sit for the CPA exam? Do you have to have your master's?
You
No.
do not have to have your master's, but I do recommend it because it helps you with the CPA exam. You just need 150 hours of college. So, and 30 of those has to be in accounting in the state of Georgia. I'm not sure what Florida's requirements are. So it goes by state. So I'm licensed in the state of Georgia.
So again, I've always understood it's a 4-year degree in accounting plus 1 more year.
Exactly. It's 30 more credits
It's
on
30
top of
more
that.
credits.
Yes. And so that Master of Accountancy is designed to give you those 30 credits in accounting.
Right. And
Yeah.
so, but to get your master's, you had to get more than 30, right?
No, I did not have to get more than 30.
Oh, so 30 got you the master's
Yes.
degree?
Yep.
Okay.
It was a 1-year full-time program.
Okay.
And then I sat for the CPA exam during that same year, so it was pretty much torturous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so the master's doesn't automatically kick into CPA then?
No.
It's separate.
Yep. It is
Okay.
separate. Yes.
Okay.
Because you can get a master's in accountancy and then never sit for the CPA exam.
Right. Well, it makes sense. The master's really helps with the exam.
Yeah.
I've always heard the accounting exam is really one of the toughest ones out there.
Oh, yes. I always tell my students it was the hardest exam or exams, because there's 4 of them that I have ever
That's right,
taken
there's-
in my entire life.
Wait a minute, back up.
Yes.
4?
4 sections I had to sit for, and they're between 3.5 and 4 hours long each.
Oh.
Yes.
Not on it's different
Same day?
days.
Different days.
But
yes.
same
it used to
week
be
or-
on. No,
No?
you can take it it has to be taken and passed within 18 months.
Okay.
And fewer than 10% of people who take it and pass all 4 sections the first time they take it.
What was the
Yes.
percentage there?
Less than 10%.
Less
Wow.
than 10%.
Yes.
Take all 4 sections and pass them the first time.
Yes, and that statistic may have changed, but that's what it was.
And
back
again,
in the
back to
day.
the Vita program, I mean, here's an opportunity for students to get some experience that certainly
Yes.
could be of help when taking the CPA exam.
Definitely, yes. They'll get a lot of experience that will translate not only to work, but if they want to get their CPA license, it'll help them with that also.
Okay. So again, as we bring another segment of Startup Talk Radio to a close, again, just kind of recap for us. This is such a valuable program, useful program
Yes.
to folks, especially within our marketplace. A lot of folks out there under that, earning under that $54,000 level can come to the college, and you and your group of Vita professionals can help them do their taxes.
Yes,
All
yes.
right.
And I hope everybody comes that is under that mark, because it's really a great opportunity for not only the community, but also the students to get experience.
How do people know about Vita? What's the normal game plan other than the incredible help we're going to give you
Yes.
tonight through Startup Talk? What is your normal channel to let people know about Vita?
Well, Irsc has publicized it for us through the newspaper, and also the IRS website advertises it.
So the IRS basically has all the locations.
Yes,
so.
and then the United Way has also participated in some
Nice.
funding, and I believe they're advertising also. So Mustard Seed over on US 1 also has a Vita site. So if somebody can't come to our site, maybe they can come to theirs.
Okay. All right. Nice. Okay. So again, Vita, an important program in our community, now being managed by a new professor here, Professor Myer, from the Irsc School of Business, the accounting group over at Irsc. And again, we've talked many times, but both levels, you can get a 2-year degree in accounting, you can get a 4-year degree in accounting at the accounting school at the School of Business at Irsc. So incredible program. Professor Myer, we welcome you to our community.
Thank you very much. I love it here.
That's good. We appreciate that. We love it here too. All of us have been here a long time. And we welcome you to Indian River State College.
Thank you. It's been a great place to work.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, good. You're going on your 2nd semester, so
Yes.
so you didn't get scared away after the fall.
I didn't. I actually really love the students. They've all been great. My favorite part is teaching. It really is teaching the
Okay.
students.
And probably a pretty impressive group of students. What did
It
you think of
is.
your first semester here?
I was very impressed by the students. They were definitely on the level of my university students.
Nice.
Great.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, how large are your classes?
My classes can get up to about 30, but they typically
Whoa.
are around 20. And I have 8 classes.
8 classes.
8 classes.
Wow.
They gave you a full load.
They did.
Well, you're the newbie.
Yep, I got to take on the full load.
You got to take on the full load. And then you'll take on Vita.
Yes.
All right. And taxes are due. What's the big day taxes are due?
It's April 18th this year.
Okay.
It's
So
on
April
a
18th.
Tuesday. Yes.
And you'll be done on March the 30th. So
Yes.
people have got to get in there.
Yes.
And again, you can always go to the Irsc website and get the phone number and call in if you need more information. Professor Myer is always looking for other volunteers to assist with the Vita program. But again, congratulations. And again, thank you for what you're doing through Vita and the School of Business at Indian River State College.
Well, thank you for publicizing it for
Yep,
us.
absolutely. And with that, I want to thank all of you out there for tuning in to another segment of Startup Talk. Thank our guest tonight, Professor Myer, and remind everyone that all the business assistance and resource programs discussed on this segment are available through Indian River State College's Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurship Development Institute, engaged at every stage of enterprise. For more information on the EDI, its programs, and a complete listing of upcoming business training events, please visit irscbiz.com. That's irscbiz.com. As always, thank you, Greg, our partners here at WPSL and WSTU. And with that, we'll talk to you next week on Startup Talk.